Hey, I'm Mike, and this is the weekly recap for the week of September 3rd to the 9th. I started off the week by farming out some dungeons that dropped my best in slot gear, trying to get to an item level of 585 because that's what my guild is asking for to get into the raid. I think Tuesday I did the majority of my dungeons, and then Wednesday I started to feel burnout, and then Thursday I maybe did a couple, and then I completely stopped from there. I don't want to go too hard and burn myself out completely on dungeons, and even when Mythic Plus comes out this week, just a few probably a week just to get in there and get some gear, get some vault options, but I don't want to go too hard in dungeons because they're not really my favorite thing to do. But with the new pieces of gear I was able to upgrade a few of them with some Valor Stones, and I just squeaked by going up from a 578.31 item level to 585.68. I imagine I'll bump that up just a little bit more before going into the raid on Wednesday, because I'd like to be able to do a few Mythic Pluses on Tuesday and Wednesday. I would like to focus a little bit more on getting gear this expansion. I know that the last one for sure, I think the one before that, I didn't really care all that much. I just kind of went in the raid, did whatever, got carried where I could, got gear as I needed it, and then that was it. But this time I wouldn't mind actually being legitimately geared up and able to participate in high-end groups. Speaking of the raid that's coming out this week, I started looking into some boss guides just to kind of learn the fights and figure that out. I think my guildies and my guild leader will be happy to know that I actually did do that, because the last 3 expansions I just walked into the raid and just kind of guessed what was going on and hoped that either people would explain the fight before we pulled, or if there was a really big mechanic I could either figure it out in real time or it just didn't come on me and I could learn how to handle it based on what someone else did. It is a little bit difficult to get 8 or whatever bosses it is in my head and remember all the mechanics. I think Wowhead has some cheat sheet guides as well that I'll probably refer to as we get into each fight. But one thing that I saw posted on Reddit and then my guild leader reposted it in Discord, someone has made a flash game with pineapples going over each boss. And you can kind of get this hands-on experience of the boss before you actually go do the boss. And this was a lot of fun. It's a nice way to kind of watch the video and then go do the fight itself and kind of get a feel for it without having played PTR, without obviously having seen it in live. I'll leave the link for that in the description box, so if you want to check it out just to make sure you're understanding each fight, or if you just want to link it to your guildies and give them an extra little bit of help to make sure that they are coming into the raid knowing what to do. And actually with the raid videos and the pineapple game, one of the things I was working on was just going through bigwigs. Just going through each boss, just getting stuff ready and just making sure everything is alerting properly, so emphasis on me or just countdowns here and there. I'll likely be fine-tuning this as I experience each boss, but just kind of getting the first step of that done, so that way when I walk into a fight, the things that I know for sure I want emphasized or counted down, I have them. Outside of gearing, I started the week off by finishing off the War Within campaign and unlocking the Earthen. I think they look pretty cool. I wasn't really sure what classes I wanted to make. I've made my Horde character so far a Paladin, and I don't know really what to make my Alliance just yet. And I haven't started leveling the Horde one yet, but I do want to do that eventually, of course, because at this point I gotta make sure all my characters are at least level 70 to match the rest of my account. I spent some time leveling up my enchanting slowly. I used up all of the mats that I had so far, so I need to wait to get a little bit more. I'm a little bit surprised to see that the dusts are selling for 10 times the amount of shards on the auction house. Typically, it's the dust that are not very expensive, and it's the shards and the crystals that are very expensive, but this time around, for whatever reason, the dusts are just popping off, and the shards are 10 gold each. I don't know what's going on there. Another big focus for me this week was delves. I tried a few bountiful delves on tier 3 and then primarily focused on getting some quick achievements on tier 1. I'm still not really enjoying them. I don't find them all that fun. I'll wait to really give them a verdict until I've had a chance to see all the tiers and see delves for what they truly have to offer. But I just don't think it's going to be something that I am excited to do. And I feel like once I get all the achievements out of there, I'm not really going to be focusing that much time in delves unless there's some sort of gear related reason that I should. I was also, as always, working on world quests this week, and there's a couple things I wanted to mention that I'm not really a fan of. The first is that I don't really like the way that the world quests come up now. In previous expansions, on Tuesday when the reset came out, the majority of them would come out. On Friday, there was a soft reset where a few more came out, and that was it. Right now, there's a handful of new ones every day that come out rather than just those 2 days throughout the week. And I don't really like that because I much preferred being able to do all the world quests and then just be done for the week. So not the biggest fan of that, but more so what I'm not a fan of is how the world quests in this expansion work. If this was just one of them, I would maybe assume it's a bug, but there are so many of them where there is shared loot, low drop rates, and or a slow respawn timer with low mob density. I don't know why this is a thing. It's just very frustrating flying around for 20 minutes trying to kill 10 mobs. I really hope hope Blizzard takes another look at this and fixes whatever's going on there, because it is just not fun right now. A few more things left to talk about. On Monday, it was Squirt Day, so I jumped into the garrison and did some pet leveling there. I wasn't really focused on getting any specific pets level, just stuff that was not level 25 yet. I also spent some time leveling up pets to sell on the auction house, because I have a war bank and a half full of pets that need to be leveled, so just slowly making my way through that. Late in the week as well, I spent some time leveling my hunter. I don't really know why I was questing on him when dungeons are, one, more fun but also faster. So what I might do is just like maybe a dungeon a day or something, just to kind of get some experience going on him, and that way he's getting the 80 quicker if I were just leveling him with quests. And then the last thing I want to talk about in this section is the 20th anniversary event that Blizzard announced last week. I'm very excited for that. I think it looks very fun. I'm really happy to hear that it's going to be multiple months, not just a few weeks. I really like the mount that they're giving out. I really like the transmogs that are coming out. It just overall looks like a very fun event. And just to kind of keep it hip and hop right now, like WoW is cooking and the food tastes good. Moving over into the achievements that I worked on this week. I started the week off at 40,390 points and I'm ending it at an even 40,500, which is a difference of 110 points. In the War Within quest tab, I finished off all of the world quest related achievements. And overall, I have 6 more quest achievements to get. A couple of them are RNG, there's a few that are renown, and then just one to level Unearthen to 50. One of the world quests that I was working on was related to the Children's Entertainer achievement, which this one gave me a lot of grief, specifically the hard mode of the Flora's Lava game. Because you have to like walk on a fence and then jump onto barrels. And sometimes I would go to jump off the barrel, but it wouldn't jump, it would just run off the barrel. And I was getting so frustrated. But I finally got it, and that was just, I was getting really frustrated. So I was really happy to see that done. And like I talked about earlier, I spent a decent amount of time in Delves this week, primarily focusing on getting some of the easier achievements, so I finished up all the Delve treasures. I just have one more treasure to get, but I just need a specific story to be up for that, and then I'll have all of them collected. I'm going to be keeping an eye on all the stories this week to make sure that I am playing through the ones that I'm missing and getting the Lore Master achievements there. And then depending on how hard Tier 8 is, I would like to be able to do some of the Glory of the Delver achievement, possibly. For mounts this week, there were a few new ones that I got, starting with the Slate Stone Ramolith. This one is just for getting the Earthen Allied race unlocked. I got the Plunder Lord's Golden Crocolisk from the trading post, as well as Kekeleg's Radiant Crocolisk from the trading post. And then I spent something like a few hours farming the Meter Bee. The worst part of this was just waiting for all the skinners. There were a few no skinning groups which made this go faster, but everyone is just sitting there skinning. I myself am a skinner, so I just did that anyway, but I would have much rather have just farmed the actual currency for the mount. But I did make a decent amount of gold, something like I think 35k or something like that. I guess it was good, but again, I would have just rather have spent less time there than gotten gold, but I don't know. So once I finished that, I got the Soaring Meter Bee, which is kind of a cool looking mount. I kind of like it. This is definitely going to be easier to do earlier in the expansion when everyone needs it. So if this is something you really want, this may be something to focus on now rather than later. Also, side note, I got 0 crackling shards while I was doing this, and I saw one dude get 2 in one loot. So I guess I'm just going to farm that mount forever, but whatever. In other news, my partner and I were watching the Perfect Couple show this week, and it was fine, I guess. It's not really something I would say I particularly enjoyed. It was okay, I guess. But if you're into like murder mystery stuff, that may be something for you. And then my partner is also watching a show called Selling Sunset, which is a reality show about a real estate group selling homes in California. It's kind of just trashy TV. It's just drama for the sake of drama. But it's just like got my attention in a way that I didn't expect it to. So I've been watching that whenever it's on. And the whole thing with Brianna telling Chelsea about her husband cheating on her, and then Chelsea thinking that Brianna staged it in some way. I was sitting there just like, what is happening right now? It's so dumb, but it's apparently something I'm into. But that is it for me. That's all I've done this week and all I'm doing this coming week. Let me know what's going on in your life, what's going on in game. Are you ready for Season 1? What are you looking forward to? Are you going to be doing more raiding, more PvP, more Mythic Pluses, more Delves, sticking with the casual gameplay of achievements and mounts, a mixture of all the above? Let me know. Love to hear it. If you are already subscribed to my channel, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. If you're not yet, I would really appreciate if you like this video or any of my others, if you would at least consider subscribing, because I'm trying to get to 100k. I'm quite a bit off, but every little bit helps, and I would really appreciate it. Enjoy the start of Season 1. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. I love you lots. Have a great week, and I'll talk at you next week. Bye.